day at destinations across the globe, tourists ask the same question. How do we get to the top? Why are we obsessed with things going higher? Well, the higher you get, the better the view. And a great view can turn a good trip into one that's spectacular. So hop on, and let's take a look at some of the most astounding vistas across the globe. We start in Ireland, in a place that looks like it just may be the end of the world. Welcome to the Cliffs of Moher, located in the southwestern edge of the Burren region. These massive cliffs tower over the Atlantic Ocean, reaching a height of more than 700 feet. Comprised of shale and sandstone, the cliffs are millions of years old, and they've been famous for almost as long. They've appeared for centuries in the literature of Ireland, and in recent years served as a setting in a number of popular films, including The Princess Bride and the Harry Potter series. They're one of Ireland's most popular attractions. Over 1 million people a year come to toe the edge. They also come to explore O'Brien's Tower, a round stone column built in 1835, and see the estimated 30,000 birds that live on the cliffs, constantly arriving, departing, and arguing over their roosts. Dozens of species call the cliffs home, from hawks and gulls to the cartoonish Atlantic puffin, from the birds to the history. The Cliffs of Moher is a vista worth seeing in person. Let's take flight from our Irish roost and cross the Atlantic and half the United States to the Grand Canyon. We can't leave this vista off the list. From up here, on the edge of the rim, you can see miles and miles of the vast canyon below, a system of crevasses more than 6,000 feet deep. Situated in Grand Canyon National Park in the middle of Arizona, the canyon winds for 277 miles and is 18 miles across at the widest point. The powerful Colorado River began to establish its course through the rocky terrain more than 17 million years ago, and in the process, carved the deep gorge. Where's the best view? Fortunately, there are too many great ones to count. The park recommends a number of fantastic lookout spots. There's Mather Point along the south rim, from which you can see almost a quarter of the entire canyon. For rustic views, check out Lookout Studio, also along the south rim. And Grand View Point is one of the highest views. It's amazing to behold, and you can also venture in. It's a long hike to the canyon floor, but thousands of people do it each year, either on foot or on the back of a mule. At the bottom is the river, of course, plus waterfalls and animals, and a constant stream of river rafters embarking on week-long trips through the canyon. Thinking about going? You're not alone. The Grand Canyon attracts more than 5 million tourists every year, but it's big enough to give every visitor enough privacy to feel that their vista isn't only amazing, but one of a kind. From the top of the Grand Canyon, we head south to the peaks of the Cusco region of Peru, home to an old sacred site and one of the coolest views in the world. This is the ancient Incan estate of Machu Picchu. Constructed in the 15th century, Machu Picchu sits on a mountain ridge above the Sacred Valley, nearly 8,000 feet above sea level. Archaeologists believe the Incans built Machu Picchu as a place for their emperor around 1450. They abandoned the estate a century later, around the time of the Spanish conquest. Machu Picchu remained largely unknown to the outside world until the early 20th century, when American historian Hiram Bingham brought it to international attention. Soon after, it became a top tourist destination and the most famous symbol of an ancient culture. You can get to the site a number of ways. Hikers will want to take the Inca Trail, a multi-day trek through the mountains. If you're looking for less work, take a minibus. Tourists aren't the only ones that enjoy these ancient grounds. Native llamas freely roam here, grazing on the plants that grow between buildings and hanging out in the shade of the trees.